what's up? If you're struggling in prayer, or if you struggle with your prayer time, I'm gonna help you out here. All right. First of all, it doesn't matter the length of your prayers. It matters about the sincerity of your prayers. Okay. But if you want to unlock really your prayer time, I would tell you to go on a fast. And I mean like a biblical fast, not these little punk American fasts that people be doing like, oh, I'm fasting Facebook. I'm fasting coffee. Stop it. You ain't sacrificing nothing. Now, I understand that some people have health concerns, and obviously I'm not talking about that. But like I said, these punk American fasts and think you're doing something. Stop it. Don't let anybody tell you got to spend like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in prayer. I mean, if you can do that, great. But 99% of us can't do that. But if you want to unlock your prayer time, I'm telling you, go on a fast, like a biblical fast. So the normal fast is no food, only water. Right? Partial fast is abstaining from certain foods. And a complete extreme fast, as I call it, is when you go without food and without water. The extreme one should only be done under the guidance of the Holy Spirit and no more for 3 days. Right? We don't need you guys dying out here. But as far as the people telling you that you need to go an hour or 2 hours in prayer, respectfully, shut up. But hang on, I'm not going to give you my opinion. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. Be not rash with your mouth, nor let your hearts be hasty to utter a word before God, for God is in heaven and you are on earth. Therefore, let your words be few. All right, we're going to jump over to Matthew, New Testament, because I know some people like, you don't give us New Testament, that's Old Testament. All right, Matthew chapter 6, verses 6 and 7. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. But I'm telling you, when you go on a fast, you will unlock prayer. What do I mean by that? Well, you will find yourself, you kind of have to force yourself to pray on a fast. You have to force yourself to go into that room, shut that door, and just be alone with God. And if you don't know what to pray, that's fine. Just put on some worship music, put on some instrumental, and just sit in His presence for a little bit. And you'll start to know Him as a person and not as just something you read about, right? Your discernment will be off the charts once you start spending time in that place, right? You can tell when something isn't from God because you know what the presence of God feels like, right? You could feel it when you be talking to people, right? Are they filled with the Holy Spirit of God or are they not? Are they just coming to church? You know what I mean? You can tell that. Like you'll be able to tell within 10, 15 minutes of talking to somebody. Less than that, actually, if they follow Christ or not. But you'll find yourself praying, right? I remember one of the times I did a fast, and I wasn't even fasting for this. I was, like I said, I had to force myself to go in there and pray, right? Every time I felt hungry, every time I felt weak, I just force myself to go pray. And just like anything you do with faith or anything that you build something off of, it's discipline until it becomes desire, because you're not going to want to do it at first. It's going to suck at first, but then later it becomes like something that you like. But what happened was I walked into church that morning and I felt the Spirit of God instantly when I walked in there, right? Because my flesh had been weakened, therefore my spirit senses were up in a way, right, so to speak. But I remember I was hearing people socialize all around me and I didn't even care. I was just like, man, y'all don't even know what I feel in this room right now. And this is before service started. I was just sitting there and I was just praying, right? So I'm praying for a few minutes and then I stop because, service started and I'm trying to listen. And then we go into worship and I'm sitting there just praying, right? And I noticed this after service that I didn't repeat a thing. I just kept praying and kept praying. And this is all just to further the point that you unlock your prayers when you go on a fast, right? Because that spirit starts to tune up and that flesh get weak.